Alright, I had to re-record this video, so sorry if I go a little fast, but I've said everything already before. But new patch notes for the celebration. We are getting a new GOWTHER, the new 4 Knights GOWTHER. We'll be going over him later on. He has a 600 banner, but we are also getting new LR green counter ESTAROSSA with his holy relic. So that's interesting. I'm probably more excited about ESTAROSSA than I am about GOWTHER, if I'm gonna be honest, which you'll see why in a sec. But going over what he does, the new parts, for each demon ally participating in battle, their basic stats increase by 6%, and their hero's ultimate move gauge increases by 1 orb. And then his normal thing, debuff immunity when using a stance. And then the new part, when a demon ally uses a stance skill, Dark Veil is additionally granted for 1 turn, and Dark Veil infects the target for 2 turns when landing a counter. So basically his counter has become an infect card, which is interesting. And then while the hero has the Dark Veil effect, they gain 1 orb in the ultimate move gauge when using an attack skill. And when a demon ally is assuming a stance, the hero's final damage taken from counters and enemy skills decrease by 40%. So a lot of new stuff here with his stance. And then his attack skill inflicts erosion damage equal to 550% of attack on one enemy, then fills the hero's ultimate move gauge by 2 orbs. And erosion ignores defense and resistance, and increases additional damage dealt by 80% of pierce rates. So it seems to me like he is a big ult rush character, which kind of makes sense considering his ult is the only ultimate in the game that is a counter. But you'll see later on because we have another effect that goes along with it, giving his holy relic. I'm skipping over a part here, but for each demon ally participating in battle, their damage taken decreases by 20%, and while the hero is assuming a stance, their attack-related stats increases by 30%, and all enemies' defense-related stats decrease by 20%. So not only does he get the 20% damage decrease from his holy relic, but he also gets it an additional 40% from his unique. So he's getting 60% damage reduction, if I understand it correctly. But he seems like he'll be going for some sort of ult rush, considering he gets 1 for each ally at the start of the battle. He gets 1 when using an attack skill with a counter on, and then his first skill also increases it. So that seems cool. And then his counter skill now inflicts Quell, which is additional damage. Damage dealt increases by 50% per active stance, which is cool because when you usually see Quell, it's on ultimate moves, and you gotta set it up to where you have a stance and then use your ultimate move. With this, you're going to be doing Quell regardless because of the fact that it's on his stance skill. So that's pretty cool. His ultimate, no changes. And then getting into what we skipped, new cosmetics for the new GOWTHER, which are pretty cool. And then we're getting a new legendary boss battle. It's going to be legendary boss battle ESTAROSSA, and you can get LR weapon for ESTAROSSA and for Escanor. New titles, just account CC, and then the top 777 of players get these. So that's cool. Giving titles to the whales. New event, Jump Box Part 2, Missions Part 2, so you can finally get the cosmetic for Merlin and Escanor. And here are the rewards for the Jump Box Part 2. You get LR Hawk, Sin, and an old Arthur. So, excited about that. And then at the end, you can get a head cosmetic for GOWTHER that has his little sin insignia above his head. Personal lucky cards. You can get it from Boss Battle Deathmatch or Knighthood Boss Battle. And then you can get 5 GOWTHER tickets from it. And then you get the other 5 through Legendary Boss Battle ESTAROSSA. You can get the other 5. You can get the final free Lucky Box ticket, and then some more LR coins and demon mats, which are always fun, always cool. New event Boss Battle Parade. It's alright. You're probably just going to want the jump box tickets, and of course the one step and the wish draw for the artifact card sets. Tower of Trials is getting its floor increased from 41 to 60. We're getting that increase. Fort Silver's Legendary Reward, Dungeon Part 2. Returning cosmetics for a ton of characters. They can be purchased individually using 20 gems. It is for a ton of characters, ton of returning costumes. New Fort Silver's battle event, and then new bundles. So that's all cool. And then now I'm getting into GOWTHER. We'll take a look at his ultimate real quick.
貴様らが言うところのアーサー王の恩敵、7つの大罪が一人、ゴートシン、ゴーセルだ。チェックメイト。はあ
So that's cool. A little underwhelming, if I'm being honest. Kind of expected more. It was really short. But what do you do with GOWTHER? So getting into him, he is a red unit, and he is a backline unit. I didn't mention this earlier, but going back to ESTAROSSA, both his Holy Relic and his unique are also in the back. So I don't know if you want to run him in the back or not, considering that he is missing this part of the unique, which is when the hero enters the battle from the secondary slot. That whole part of it is missing from his kit, so it doesn't seem like he's going to be wanting to be used in the back. I mean, he has the first and last part of his unit can be used, getting when a demon ally is using a stance. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, when a demon ally is using a stance skill, so when I was gonna say, because like Dark Veil could be applied to Nemesis Meliodas, but it's a stance skill, and Meliodas doesn't have a stance skill, he just assumes a stance, which he can get with this. The hero's final damage taken from counters and enemy skills decreased by 40, and then the basic stat increase. So I guess you can have that in the back, but he seems like it's going to be wanting to use ESTAROSSA in the front. But getting back into GOWTHER, for each applicable ally participating in battle, their basic stats increased by 7%, and then applicable allies are 7 Deadly Sins and 4 Knights. And then when the hero enters the battle from secondary slot, 2 debuff effects are removed from applicable allies, and their skill ranks are increased. And whenever applicable allies' skill ranks are increased, their max HP increases by 30% for 1 turn. And when an enemy's skill ranks are increased, their defense-related stats decrease by 30% for 1 turn. So it seems like he is kind of he's punishing the other team for also having GOWTHER, because if you make sure that if you get their GOWTHER to come into the front line, then you just decrease their defense related stats because of the fact that GOWTHER is going to be skill rank increasing them. And then his attack skill, it's AoE Pierce that allows only the use of rank 2 skills. And then he has a buff card that removes debuffs from all allies and increases defense related stats by 80% for 3 turns. Now the thing that I'm wondering is that whenever he removes debuffs, does he also increase their skill ranks? Because it says when the hero enters the battle from secondary slots, 2 debuff effects are removed and their skill ranks are increased. So I don't know if the skill rank is increased only through the debuff removal when he enters, or if it's just in general. But we will have to see whenever he comes out, which is tomorrow. And then his ultimate decreases HP related stats of all enemies by 30% for 3 turns and inflicts Flood. He is not dupe dependent. The only thing that changes is the amount of time that the HP related stats decrease is applied for. It's 2 turns from 1 through 5, and then at 6/6 it turns to 3 turns. So whenever you can just pull him once and then be done with it, so you don't need to 6/6 him. He is, like I said, a 600 banner, so getting into it, it's not the greatest. We have LR Escanor, new LR ESTAROSSA, and then LR Elaine, which not the greatest. Probably the most value you're going to get is Gelda and Margaret. You don't really Scotty, Miguelda, Elizabeth, and Freya. You don't really need them. And then Valentine, Annie. You don't really need her either, considering she's just a worse version of regular Annie. But if you don't have her, then I guess you could summon to get her. But you're really just going to be wanting to pull GOWTHER and then leaving. And then at the 300 you get the guarantee. And at 600 you can select a hero. I don't know why they're selecting a hero, who's going to want to select Red Miguelda over the new unit, But that is it for the banner. Going over uses, I don't know if this GOWTHER is going to be better or worse than the current LR GOWTHER backline that we have for Sins. I think this guy is just going to be used for a 4 Knights backline because we don't really have a traditional 4 Knights backline yet. We only really have Sin that increases it, and then obviously Varghese, but they don't do a lot. You can't get value off of them. So I'm assuming this guy's going to be used for 4 Knights, and then you're going to want to use LR GOWTHER for Sins. But this seems like a traditional backline unit compared to LR ESTAROSSA. You can run him in the back, obviously, but I'm wondering if you're going to want to run him in the front, because the team I'm thinking of is the Nemesis Meliodas, Demon King Zeldris, and LR ESTAROSSA, and then the backline being the new Chandler that's going to come out as a step up at the end of this month before the collab next month. So I'm wondering if you're going to want to do that, or if this ESTAROSSA is going to be used as a last stand. Like if your team gets wiped and then you only have LR ESTAROSSA, then he comes in and kind of holds them off and wins, considering the fact that he has just so much ult rush, 2 with his skill 1, an additional 1 if he uses an attack with his stance, and then just getting 1 orb for each demon ally. So he really seems like he's going to be using ult rush, so maybe he's a last stand kind of character, or if you just really want to run him in the front, but we will have to see whenever he comes out. I will be using him. I will be getting ESTAROSSA up getting his relic. I'm assuming his relic is going to be for Ratatosker. It doesn't say what it's for or what materials is needed, but I'm assuming that's what it is. If not, I will be surprised, but I will be getting it. I will be getting him to LR, and I will be using him, trying to find out teams for him. I will possibly be trying to use the new GOWTHER. Um, Honestly, I'm not sure because I am mostly free to play. I don't know if I want to spend my gems on this guy, if it's going to be worse than LR GOWTHER. So we'll have to find out whenever the time comes. The time comes. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky and summon him from the free tickets. But regardless, he seems like an interesting unit. I think he's going to be only used for 4 nights. I am more excited for ESTAROSSA than anything. And then one more thing before I go, we are getting 77 diamonds whenever the update comes out, which is tomorrow at 2 a.m. PDT. So June 4th at 2 a.m. PDT, we are getting the update, and then we're getting 77 diamonds. So that's two free draws. So if you want to do 2 free draws on GOWTHER, then go for it. If not, then save your gems for either Chandler or the new collab that's going to come out. I don't know what the collab is. I just know that there's a rumored leak about it. So we'll have to see. But other than that, that is all for me. And I will see you guys in the next video.